Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for the February 2024 edition of the Water Cooler Live here at the Human Potential Running Series. So great to have everybody. Another snowy evening here at HPRS headquarters. Actually, it's been snowing for 26 hours here at the house. It just won't let up. I've shoveled. Hopefully I won't have to shovel again because I'm sick of it already. Happy winter, everybody. Happy February. Great to have you. My name is John LaCroix. I'm the owner and race director of the Human Potential Running Series. So great to have you for our monthly live show here, the Water Cooler Live. If you're new, excuse me, if you're new to the Human Potential Running Series, on repeat now, we are Colorado's largest series of trail running and ultramarathon running events. We have 12 races that span the entire calendar year. We have one satellite event in El Paso, Texas, which we just held. It was a huge success this year. You can check out all of our events, everything about us on our website, www.humanpotentialrunning.com. And I would absolutely love it if you head on over there and check that out. Got a cool show for tonight. I didn't get anybody that wanted to be a guest. Oh, hold on, my show and tell is falling all over the place. So I've done my best to kind of concoct a little bit of a pretty decent show for you this evening. Thanks for wanting to hang out with me. I appreciate it. Hello, Beth and Joe, and Miguel is here. Look at that, Miguel made an appearance. We got Dean Hess out there. Matt Markle. Yeah, I am a garden gnome right now. That's for sure. Well, hey, welcome to the water cooler. It's great to have everybody. Gonna be a cool show. Just so everybody knows when this was recorded. Here it is. Here. I'm wearing one of my. I bought this Vapor hoodie for myself. My new Silver Heels hoodie. Love this thing. I love Vapor shirts. Anyway, if you haven't, go ahead and over. Hey, Jared, head on over to the Vapor store. There's a link on our website. If you click on that Vapor Apparel store, they have completely redone all of our garments in that store to include the new HPRS logos on the arms. Also, we have HPRS logo gear with the new logo. We have some left over with the old logo. And then we have all the new race logos up in various different color garments and stuff. But hey, Michelle, head on over to the Vapor Apparel store and check out the new shirts. This is one of them. I just love this race. This is my baby. So I had to buy the shirt. I don't know what's going on. I'm out of drink and everything. Oh boy. Okay. Let's turn some stuff off here. Hey, if you wouldn't mind liking this video and sharing it to your wall so that we can get some folks, other folks to join us this evening, that would be wonderful. I really appreciate it. Oh man, I'm a mess. I'm feeling better. I was sick for a good month. Thankfully, that's come and gone. And now I've no idea. It's just winter. Sorry, you're going to hear all the noises. It is what it is. Hey, let's go talk about some events. Emily is not home, Beth. Emily is in California skydiving. She's got a training weekend, getting ready for her next world record attempt coming up in March, about a month away. She'll be going down to Arizona to try again on the vertical skydiving night jump, which means that they'll be jumping upside down in the dark. That's right, under darkness, with flares attached to their ankles. You know, like they look like a comet when they're coming out of the sky. Anyway, yeah, she's training. So nobody's bringing me a drink tonight. It's just me. But hey, our next race is coming up. It is the Stories Trail Runs coming up next weekend down in Colorado Springs at Cheyenne Mountain State Park. Looks like I got 5 spots left, and then we'll be sold out. It's actually 7. I've got 2 more folks that emailed me here within the hour that they're no longer running. And as folks continue to email me that they're not running, I take them off the roster to open up some more space for folks. So right now we got 5 openings. That's actually 7. So 7 more spots in Stories. Again, we have the 15-hour and 30-hour taking place on Saturday, February 17th. And then on Sunday, February 18th, we have the 6-hour, 10K, and the half marathon. 10K is just the red and green loop. The half marathon is the blue and purple loop. And if you're interested in one of those timed events are an awesome way to get into the sport of ultramarathon running. If you're somebody that's dabbling with the idea of wanting to go a little bit further, timed events are where it's at. So if you sign up for the 6-hour, 15-hour, or the 30-hour, the goal is to just run as many miles as you can or want within the allotted time. So let's say you sign up for the 30-hour, and you go out there and you run. Race starts at 6 a.m. or whatever it is, and by noon it gets muddy out there. Somebody actually did this. So around noon it's pretty muddy in this park, and you said, screw this, I'll come back and run again later. So you come back to the main aid station, you check out, and then you go to your hotel and take a nap for 6 hours, and after dinner you come back to the race and run all through the night. That is totally okay. You can actually do that. You can come and go from the course as you please. Again, the goal is to run as many miles as you can or want within the 30-hour time limit. Simple as that. As long as you finish your first red loop, you are a finisher of the event, and your finishing result will be the total number of miles that you run within the allotted time. So, pretty cool concept. Most timed events out there take place on a 1-mile track or a warning track of a baseball field or just your typical quarter-mile track. I don't know. Boring as shit. We decided to switch it up with Stories, and we have multiple colored loops out there. It's a red loop, a green loop, a blue loop, and a purple loop. And so you run those in succession. So if you're in the 15-hour or the 30-hour, you'll run red, green, blue, purple, red, green, blue, purple. If you're in the 6-hour, you'll alternate back and forth between red and green, rather. So the scenery is always changing. Each loop looks completely different the next time that you're there. Really cool event. Come on out, and we'd love to have you. So again, we got 7 spots remaining, and then we will be sold out for Stories. It'll be the first time that Stories Ultra has ever sold out. Looking on the back end here, I can see that on this day last year, we had 125 registrations on this day and this night at this time. 125. This year we're sitting at 220, and our limit is 225. So we sold out Sawmill in December. There it is again. Oh my God, I don't even know how to do that. Stupid thumbs up thing. We sold out Sawmill in December. We didn't quite sell out the Franklins last month down in El Paso. However, we did host the most runners at a single event that we've ever had at the Human Potential Running Series, with over 300 runners joining us down there in El Paso. And here we're going to sell out Stories. So we finished 2023 with a spectacular Ridgefest and Sawmill trail runs, and we're off and running, literally, pun intended, here in 2024. Kicking things off right on the right foot. So thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Again, if you're looking to come join us next weekend, online registration remains open through Tuesday night, Once we sell out, we will move to a wait list. If there is a wait list, there will be no race day registrations. If we do entertain race day registration, it will only be for Saturday next weekend. So you would want to be signing up for the 15-hour or the 30-hour. Those are the only two events next weekend that I will entertain race day registration for. I'm not going to entertain race day on Sunday. And the reason is we've already got a lot of people for Sunday. And I'm actually a little bit concerned about the trails out there and how things figure out this week with the weather and stuff like that. So let me talk about that real quick. The weather report for down there for the next week and through next weekend is actually pretty incredible. It looks great. We've got highs in the upper 40s all week long, 50 degrees on Thursday. Right now we're looking at 46 on Friday, windy, 21 Friday night, windy. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 45 and windy. The last report I got from locals is that it's pretty mushy down there. They did get a little bit of snow out of this storm yesterday. I don't think it accumulated too much, but they were expecting 2 to 4 inches tonight. So whatever snow does fall tonight, it's got the whole week to melt. We're really going to be paying attention to course conditions next weekend. Just want to put that out there. But anyway, that is why I'm not going to entertain race registration, race weekend on Sunday morning. Again, only for Saturday, just given our numbers. Saturday is the lesser of the 2 days in terms of attendance. So if you are looking for race day registration for next weekend, we will only entertain that for Saturday. All right? So 7 spots left open for this one, and then that's it. Also, if you didn't hear, I'm in a spot with this. If you didn't know, I am a full-time race director. This is what I do for my career. This is all that I do. It's the only job that I have and get paid for. And I've been a full-time race director for coming up on 10 years now. It'll be 10 years next month. And this weekend, coming up, next weekend rather, at the Stories Trail Runs, I will move into second place all time for most ultra marathons directed in United States history. And I'm going to pass Dr. David Horton. Dr. Horton is a race director who I have always looked up to, and whose ways of race directing and course design has informed a lot of what I do at HPRS. And, you know, in our careers or just in our lives in general, we often think of people that we wish to emulate, or people that inspire us, you know, our mentors, the people that we look up to the most. And Dr. Horton is that person for me. So for me to be passing him on the all-time ultras directed list is it's something I never expected that would happen. And I'm really proud of it. It's a lot of work to do this job and to do it mostly alone. I do appreciate all my volunteers on the weekends and stuff like that. I can't do it without you. I can't do it without our runners. None of this happens without volunteers. It doesn't happen without runners, without participants. But I'm in that place of, do I celebrate these things or not? And I decided that I'm going to, because it's a lot of work. And I am proud of what we've all been able to accomplish over these last 10 years. So I'll move into second all time. If you're wondering how many races the record is, it's like in the 500s, I think. I actually found out who holds the record. It'll be a long time before I catch him. And that's Wendell. Wendell, who is the owner and race director of Coastal Trail Runs out in California. He's been race directing since 2009. So it's going to be a long time before anybody, if anybody, catches Wendell. I'm going to continue to strive for that mark. But at Stories Ultra, I'll be directing my 93rd event with an ultra marathon present. 93rd event. And I have directed 172 different ultra distance races through those 93 events. 254 different distances combined if you take all the shorter distances in as well. So, look, we're going to celebrate my 100th event at Sangre de Cristo this summer. Actually, it'll be fall. So on Sunday of Sangre de Cristo weekend, we will be celebrating. And I really want to invite everybody out to at least Sunday of Sangre de Cristo weekend, so that when that last runner crosses the finish line on that day, we can collectively as a community celebrate event number 100. I would love for you all to be there to celebrate that with us. So put it on your calendar. Would love to have you. All right, moving on from that, I've got Endure. Endure will be, actually, Niwatts is the next race after Stories. That's on May 4th. We do have a wait list for the first time. We have a wait list for Niwatts. We are currently at 40 participants, which is our limit. And I've got like 2 or 3 on the wait list. Really excited about that. Miguel and I are going to try our luck at it this year. I hope he's still in for that. I am. But hey, right after that, 2 weeks later, will be the Endure Trail Runs on May 18th. This event traditionally was on Mother's Day weekend every year, and I decided to take it off of Mother's Day weekend. Why? Because every year at the race, everybody, well, not everybody, I'd get a handful of folks come up to me and say, hey, did you know it's Mother's Day weekend? I'd say, no shit, I had no idea. Tell me more. What is that? I moved it off Mother's Day weekend. Hopefully that'll help folks join us. Again, this race on this night, at this time last year, we had 66 registered. This year we're at 99. So we're at 50% full. That's a 200 capacity limit for that race. We're at half full with a couple months to go. So 3 months out and we're half full. This race is going to sell out too. So if you're thinking about running Endure, or you know anybody that does, I would have them sign up sooner rather than later. Also, a reminder that the final price increase for this race occurs on March 1st. The price will increase $10. So if you're looking to take advantage of middle tier pricing, you're going to want to sign up before March 1st. Okay, so you have there's an extra day because it's a leap year. So February 29th at 11:59 p.m., we will have, through that time is middle tier pricing. And then at midnight, it'll increase to that final tier. So if you want to save, sign up between now and March 1st. We got about 100 spots left. That's 50% full. I'm really hoping that a lot of these folks who join us at Stories for the 10K and half will also join us at Endure for the 10K or half. Be great to have you guys. The 12 hours doing great. 24 hours still not doing great at this race. I get it. It's kitschy. It's different. Not everybody's up for that mind fuckery. I'm hoping more of you will sign up for this 24-hour. It's fun. It's fun. It's good stuff. Anyway, Endures May 18th. And of course, we always need volunteers for all of our races. Looking at the volunteer roster for next weekend, really the only help I need is in those overnight shifts. Typically the shifts that people really don't want to volunteer for, because like you, or I like to sleep. I kind of need to sleep though at these events so that I can do my work on Sunday, wrapping it up, cleaning up, driving back home safely, unloading everything back into storage, all those things. It's a huge body of work for me on Sunday. In fact, if you guys see Eli at any point, Eli recently joined me at the storage unit after the Franklin Mountain Trail runs the next day when I got home. So he saw just how much work there is just putting stuff back away in storage and cleaning everything up. So anyway, I would love to be able to sleep that night. If I got to stay up, I will. But I still need volunteers. But the bigger thing is, we've had a great volunteer turnout the last race and now this race. At Franklin Mountains, we had a record number of volunteers for that race. Let me see. We had 41 people come out to that one. It's a great start to volunteerism for the start of the year. So thank you everybody for signing up for volunteer shifts. Please remember that if you are a trail and ultra marathon runner, it's not a condition of your entry, but it's good practice that you give back by volunteering. We can't do it without you. If you're looking for a race to volunteer at this year, I'm currently begging for Silver Heels volunteers. And I'm begging because that race got moved to a Friday. And so the race is on Friday, Saturday instead of Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to need volunteers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They are odd times to have volunteers. Some of you will take time off to work to lend a hand, which we very much appreciate. A reminder that we do pay $10 to $15 an hour in HPRS race credits for time served. I have thought about adding that volunteer shift for unloading at the storage unit, Beth. I have. But it's always like Monday at 10 a.m. That's usually when it happens, Monday at 10 a.m. And loading up is Thursday at noon. And they're just odd times that most people won't be able to make. So that's why I've hesitated to do that. But thank you. I'll keep thinking about it. Anyway, we could use volunteers for Silver Heels. If you're thinking about volunteering and you don't know when, if you don't know where, please consider Silver Heels. I'd love to have you. All right, how about some news? If you haven't heard, we have a new merit badge program at HPRS. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about it tonight. This is something that came out of the focus group last year. Actually, it was an idea that I kicked around with Emily for a little bit, and then I introduced it to the focus group, and they loved it. And it definitely got kicked around in the recommendations there. So we've got some merit badges. I'm actually going to show you what the merit badges look like this evening as well. I have a few of them here in my hand. But first, what I want to do is I'm going to go to our website. And on our website is where you can check out, here it's under the About section, About Merit Badges. Brings you to this page. These merit badges are a way for members of our community to further their skill set or reach for and achieve various HPRS milestones, and for our explorers to display their level of expertise and buy-in of the HPRS ways of trail and ultramarathon running. So these are the current merit badges that we have. I do not have all of them in hand yet. I did the first batch, I got those ordered, and I'm waiting on the second batch. So right now I've got Navigation Merit Badge in hand. I've got DFL Merit Badge. Well, let me just tell you a little bit. So Navigation Merit Badge, if you take the Navigation Clinic, and we're having one next month in March. I guess I should show you guys how to sign up for that too. You could check that out in the last newsletter that came out last week. But if you take the Navigation Clinic and then you score an 80 or higher on the final exam, yeah, for the first time I'm going to have a final exam, and then you complete the in-field portion, so it's like a field day to put your skills to the test in real life. If you do these things, you will earn your Navigation Merit Badge. DFL, all you got to do is come in dead fucking last in a race. There you go, you get your merit badge. Trifecta, finish 3 races of ours in 1 calendar year. Calendar year is defined by January 1st through December 31st. And then we have Hexad Merit Badge. That's if you finish 6 races. within 1 calendar year. Transcendence Merit Badge, finishing a distance at every HPRS event within one 365-day period of time. So that's whatever. You make up that 365 days on your own. It could be September 1st to August 31st. September 15th through September 14th, the following year, whatever it is. This primarily pertains to Colorado events, but I will allow you to substitute one Colorado event for our race in El Paso. Okay? But that's not required. It's an option. If you don't run a distance in every race and you're just there either as a participant or a volunteer, you're going to get the Die Hard Merit Badge. That means you don't miss anything. Night shift, work an overnight volunteer shift at an HPRS event. Half of those hours must be between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So if you work 8 hours, if you work an 8-hour shift, 4 of those hours would need to be between 10 and 6. Course marking merit badge. This one's kind of arbitrary, but not really. This is, like, you got to come out and mark a course and you got to do it well. And what I mean by do it well means I don't have to go out to fix any of the markings. I don't have to send anybody else out to fix any of the markings. And we don't have any complaints about course marking being bullshit on the section that you marked. Okay? Now, I know we can't control, and no runners were too terribly lost. That one's like, we can't really control that. Like, some people are just inherently, they can't navigate their way out of a wet paper bag. Like, some people, like, really admit that. But look, if you do a good job, we don't have to fix it, and there's no complaints. You get the merit badge. That's the gist of it. Do 2 days of trail work with us within a 365-day period of time and earn your trail work merit badge. Leadership merit badge. This is if you participate with us as a volunteer lead, trail work lead, group run lead, focus group member, or you're in the mentors program. And then these are milestones for volunteerism. So if you do 40 hours over the course of a 365 day period of time, you get, 40-hour merit badge, 80-hour, 120 hours. So there's where you can read about how to get these. And I'm going to show you what they look like. So here is the course marking merit badge. That is a woven patch. All of that is thread. Okay, so you can see. And then on the back, they've glued on these little pins so that you don't have to sew it to something. You can just pin it to something. Or you can actually take this off. You could take that off and then sew it onto something if you want to sew it on there. But this is how big they're, like 2 inches by 2 inches. Okay. Here's the night shift. There's your night shift merit badge. So just like you see on that web page, that's what they look like. And again, we got the pin on the back. If you don't want the pin, you could take those off and sew it onto something. It's just hot glue. It's pretty strong hot glue, but you could take that off. Anyway, that's what they look like. They're pretty cool. Okay. So those are our merit badge. I hope you guys will check those out. And I've got some emails sitting in my mailbox from folks. Again, on me, I have navigation, DFL, night shift, course marking, trail work, leadership, and the volunteer hours. I am now waiting for Die Hard, Transcendence, Hexad, Trifecta. I'm waiting for those to arrive from the manufacturer. Once they are here, I will gladly email those out or mail those out to you guys. Hang tight if you don't mind. Just waiting on them, okay? Behind the scenes, I've been hard at work. I want everybody to know that I have completely, with the help of KP Hartman, thank you, KP. KP joined me in my garage one day, and we completely dismantled all of our first aid kits, sorted all the supplies. I also ordered a whole bunch of new supplies, and we have completely revamped all of our first aid kits. And first aid kits now have everything that we reasonably need to treat folks at our aid stations. And then, we've got our general first aid kits. And then I have hub first aid kits. And those hub first aid kits are going to be at the aid stations where there is medical staff present. And those first aid kits include blood pressure cuffs and pulse oximeters and tourniquets and like some additional things that only somebody with medical training would reasonably know how to use. And in the standard first aid kits that we made, they're not in there. All right. Because I don't want somebody giving you a tourniquet when they don't know what it's for or the applications for it. Right. Makes sense. But we redid all the first aid kits. And then I have to thank Derek Talbot. Derek helped me refurbish our stoves. So all of our Camp Chef stoves, which are the big black stoves, there's 2 burners and 3 burners. We've replaced the regulators on those. We have bought replacement parts for missing parts on those. So all the legs, you should be able to tighten the legs now. The flame, there's vents for the flame. Some of them were bent, needed replacement. We pressure washed them. We did a ton of work on the stoves. And in my garage here, I actually have all the 2-burner camp stoves that I have, which are like the green Coleman stoves. And all of those are being cleaned as well. So working on that. I also bought a new generator so we can have more light at aid stations like at Silver Heels. We also have a new partnership with a company called Kachava. You may have heard of them. They make this superfood whole body meal, a blend of powerful superfoods and plant-based proteins inspired by ancient wisdom. All your essential nutrients in one. I want to know the ancient. Who the hell did they talk to that had the ancient wisdom? Joe Biden. Anyway, this bag, I'm trying to see if it's got a size on it. Okay, so this is a serving size is 60 grams. That's 2 scoops. And there's 15 servings in this container. Anyway, everybody, when you come to a race this year, you're getting one of these bags. You're getting a full bag of Kachava superfood just for showing up at one of our races. So everybody gets one of these at check-in. And they're going to be put in our new bags. If you haven't seen our new drawstring bag, everybody will get one of these when they check in at races as well. So this bag will have this bag in it. So everybody at Stories this weekend is getting this. All the boxes of this, they come on a pallet that a delivery truck drops off in my driveway, and they have a pallet jack and everything, and we drag it up into the garage. And then I recently had to load them all up into my truck and bring them to storage, and they take up way too much room. So these things are going to be like, yes, take your bag of Kachava, please, because I do not have room to store them. So, yeah, that's a thing. And I'm working on permitting right now. Swiggles texted me the other day. She's like, permitting for what? It's like, every race. I've got to apply for permits every year. And that happens right now. My deadline is the 15th. I've got a few races left. And I just wanted to point it out. I bet you didn't know that most races open registration before they ever get a permit in hand. But yeah, like I'm in the middle of permitting, and my brain is just absolutely fried. Almost done though, getting there. We got this new shirt. Michelle Grund is the first and only person to have bought one. It's got our new logo on the front. Where I belong is what it says. Just an ode to what we're about, belonging here at HPRS. I can't make it bigger, but I put that Colorado, there's like a little bit of a Colorado thing there on the top. I bet you can see it. Do I have the painter thing? I do. It's right here. A little bit of a Colorado flag. Anyway, these are in the online store. They are unisex. And I really try as hard as I can to make sure we have men's and women's sizing. But the price of the unisex shirt was actually the right price, that I didn't have to charge you more for this shirt. Or so that I'm not making $4. So unisex is where it's at for this one. Sorry about that. But hey, super soft. Here it is. Super soft shirt. I'm going to buy one myself. I would love it if you did too. All right, I mentioned that we have new hats coming as well. If you were in the... Here are our new hat designs. So some of you may remember that we were selling these. These are from Runner, RNNR. There's their little tag, Runner. This is the Pacer hat. The hat that you see here on the top, that purple one, that's the Pacer hat. So our next version of that Pacer hat will be purple. It's still going to say forward underneath. Like the brim is still going to have this. The brim is going to be this color with this red trim. Still going to say forward underneath. But the hat's going to be purple. And then the logo here is going to be a PVC patch. So that's kind of like a rubber patch. That's what's going to go on the front here, is a PVC patch. So that's our new Pacer hat. They'll be available in May. And then the trucker is on the bottom. So this was the last version of the trucker hat. So same brim. I'm doing away with this garbage. I hate this. Why is it even there? Stupid thing. But the rest of the hat, this mesh is going to be the gray color in our logo. This front panel is going to be white. And same thing, that HPRS logo on the graphic there, the patch looking logo, that's going to be on the front of this hat as a PVC patch. So it's kind of like a rubber patch. So these are going to be the next gen hats that we sell. They'll be available in May. I'll have them with me at Endure. You can get yourselves a new hat with the new logo. Again, PVC patches instead of this screen printing or inkage or whatever they have. We're going to go with those PVC patches that are going to be actually sewn onto the hat. New colors. That one on the top will be this color, except it's the Pacer hat. So, and they'll still be $30. The manufacturer informed me that the cost of the hat went up $5. So if you go to their website, they're selling their hats for like $36 each. Okay, cool. I'm still going to keep it at $30. Just because that $36, that's a lot of money for a hat. I know prices are going up everywhere. This is one of those things where it's like the profit margin isn't that important to me. You having a great hat that you can afford is more important to me than the profit margin. So anyway, these hats will be $30 still. And then the big news of the night is I mentioned a new race on the calendar, and here it is. The Latino Ultra Nature Adventure, also known as Luna, is returning again. This was the event that we hosted in October. We hosted this up at Gross Reservoir in Boulder. It was the first time in like 35 years that a trail race had been permitted to take place in Boulder. And it was great. We had like, I don't know, we sold it out. We had like 183 runners come out. This is a Tarahumara runner, however you say it. She's one of their champions. She came out and ran with us. So we're going to do it again, except we're going to do it on June 1st. And we're doing it at Golden Gate Canyon State Park. Now, I know some folks are out there are saying, but that's Golden Gate Dirty 30s weekend. It was. Golden Gate Dirty 30 lost their permits. I'm none of my business. They are not in existence anymore. So that weekend became available. So we are hosting a race at Golden Gate Canyon State Park on Saturday, June 1st, 2024. There will be a 5K, a 7.5 mile, a half marathon, and a 50K. The 50K is going to be limited to just 50 runners. Only 50 runners in the 50K. The entry fee will be $100. If you're going to run the 5K, 7.5 mile, or half marathon, the entry fee will be, it looks like $50 for any of those distances. So you just pick one of those, it's $50. And then the 50K is $100. Again, the 50K is going to be limited to just 50 runners. And then we'll allow 150 across the shorter distances. Now, this race is being really, we're hosting it for Americas for Conservation and the Arts. And this is a nonprofit out of Denver. I want to tell you a little bit more about them. They are a green nonprofit. They are a Latina-founded and led organization fighting systemic racism in the conservation and creative workspaces, leveraging arts and culture for diversity, equity, and inclusion gains. Each year, they serve thousands of BIPOC community members using culture and the arts as a bridge to connect to conservation and the natural world. They've been pioneering this work for 15 years through their 3 award-winning flagship programs, the America's Latino Eco Festival, the Mandel Villar Press, and the Promotores Verdes Conservation Corps. They are planting 700 plus trees in 500 homes in 2023 between Denver and Aurora, with thousands more trees to come through 2029. Last I heard, their plan was to plant like 10,000 trees by 2029 in the Denver area. It'll be the same party. We're going to have the DJ and everything, Allie. Same great time, except it's going to be at Golden Gate Canyon State Park. Really excited about it. This is being managed by HPRS, but again, it's AFC plus A's event. It's not only for Latinos. We welcome anybody to come out and run this event for us, understanding that really we designed this race to provide an avenue for folks in an underserved and marginalized community, the BIPOC community, to come out and join us on the trails in a safe environment. That's why we took this on. That's why we're working with AFC plus A. And there is some intersectionality there. We definitely want individuals of all ethnicities and what have you to come on out and join us so that, you know, we can have an awesome day on the trails with everybody. So that's happening again June 1st, Saturday, June 1st, Golden Gate Canyon State Park, 5K, 7.5 mile half marathon, and a 50K. Really excited to be putting this one on again. I hope you folks will join us. I forgot to show you 2 more things. I got some stickers. The first is our Stories race sticker. Everybody that comes to Stories next weekend will get one of these. So there's the Stories logo. You can barely make it out on there, but on the bottom are 3 pigs playing in the mud. And then there's a mountain lion sneaking off the mountain, getting ready to attack a wolf in sheep's clothing. So that's the Story sticker. I don't know. That's what I came up with. We're going to give those out. The other thing I want to show you is our other new sticker. I'm not selling these either. These I'm giving away. Happily giving away our new No One Cares About Your Strava sticker. You can get one of these at any race. Come see me personally. John, do you have one of those stickers? I absolutely do. I'd be more than happy to give you one so long as you put it in a prominent place. No one cares about your Strava. If you guys aren't going to buy the shirt, maybe you'll display the free sticker. I want this to be a movement. Seriously. Stop it. Giving these away. Come see me for one. Okay. Let's talk around the water cooler, shall we? Every year, if you folks saw last month, I wrote my State of Our Sport address for 2024. Talked about a lot of things. The last time that I will be writing that report. However, I've received quite a few emails from folks asking for me to not have it be the last. I appreciate that very much. But again, I think I'm going to stand by my reasoning for that being the last one. Dylan Bowman actually reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in being on his podcast to talk about that state of our. I could work on that being a magnet, Dean. I can do that. Sorry, I got sidetracked with the question. Dylan Bowman asked me to be on his podcast, but we're playing email tag, so I'm hoping that it happens. Talk more about what I wrote about, but every year I also I have another spreadsheet. Go figure. And this spreadsheet has, again, all of the Colorado run entry fees for every trail race of a half marathon in distance or longer. And I keep track of what everybody charges. Now, typically, most folks, again, are using that 3-tiered pricing. So there's early bird, middle tier, and then late tier pricing. And I mentioned in the State of Our Sport address that I'm noticing a couple of different trends around pricing. And those trends are that some of these races are making their early bird price, so their tier 1 price, is like legit the cheapest price that they're willing to offer you. And then tier 2, it's like, and then the price goes up $70. And that's new. That's a thing that's never happened before. And I think that what's happening is that once upon a time, pre-COVID, most folks would sign up for their ultras or their trail races way in advance. So me personally, like I would October, November, December, when race registrations for the next year would open up, I would have my entire year planned and I'd sign up for all of my races at the same time. So if I'm running 5 races next year, I'm signed up for all of them before the new year. But since COVID, a quarter of all race registrations, it's 25% of all race registrations are coming within the last 3 weeks, heading up to race day. Okay, so it used to be flipped. So I think what race directors are doing is they're trying to entice you and incentivize you to get back to signing up earlier rather than later. And how they're doing that is they're making that tier 2 and 3 pricing ridiculous. So that is, I'm going to save the most by signing up early. So I got to sign up early, right? That's one thing I'm noticing. Anyway, I have filled in my spreadsheet for the year. And I went the extra mile here this year. And I really wanted to pay attention to, what's the highest for each distance? What's the lowest for each distance? Hold on, I'm getting my ducks in a row here. I want this, and I want this, and I want that to go that way. That's not going to work like I want it to. So I'm just going to show it to you. So here's my spreadsheet. So we're going to start with the trail half marathons. There's a lot of half marathons in the state. I have highlighted first what days have the most half marathons on them. So we got April 27th is a busy day, and September 28th, or this weekend, September 28th, 29th. Those are the 2 busiest weekends for half marathons in Colorado this year. And then I've highlighted that the most expensive entry fee for a trail half marathon in Colorado is $129 to run the Desert Rats Fruita Fest Half Marathon on April 14th. Now, this is the race that UTMB bought into here in Colorado. So this is a UTMB race. So if you think back, if you humored me with my State of Our Sport address at any point over the last 5 years, I told you, wait until these corporations come in and you're going to see what they're going to do. You're going to see what they're going to do with those entry fees. Here it is. This entry fee increased $24, or I guess one of them was $4. That's probably like the upper tier was $4 more, but tier 1 is $24 more than it was last year. So that's what this says. Like, here are the races, no change, no change. These folks, you know, they stayed with their pricing. They didn't change anything. If it's in purple, it's an HPRS race. If they increase their fees, it's red. And in the chance that they decrease their fees, it would be in green. So you can see most folks are increasing $10 to $15, $5 to $15 on average. Most expensive tier 1 is $129. The cheapest is Creed Mountain Run 12 miles, $50. And then Luna, we're going to have a $50 half marathon at the Luna event on June 1. Let's see. Then tier 2, still Creed Mountain Run's the cheapest at $60, and they're the cheapest in tier 3. Tier 2, the most expensive half marathon is Pikes Peak 30K, $135, and Crested Butte 35K, $135. Those are both Mad Moose events. And then the most expensive half marathon in tier 3 is Crested Butte 35K at $155. Okay. I have no judgment here. I'm just telling you, this is the information that I've dug up. These are the facts. Okay. And some of these I did today. So I still need to get information from Aspen Backcountry, Brett Crest Half, Creed, and Methodist Mountain. They're the only ones that haven't published their entry fees for the new year. Trail marathons. There continues to be a shortage of trail marathons. Oh, pardon me. Before we move on, here's your average cost of entry for the half marathon up there. Tier 1 is $83. Tier 2 is $95. And tier 3 is $104. Last year it was $82, $93, and $102. So it went up $0 to $2. That's pretty good. $0 to $2. That's not bad. All right, trail marathons. Still waiting to hear on Aspen Backcountry and Creed. However, the busy day is going to be May 11th with Quad Rock up in Fort Collins and Valkyrie in Colorado Springs. The cheapest 22 trail marathon is going to be Creed Mountain, $50. The most expensive is Telluride Mountain Run 24 mile, $165. Those are the same two in tier 2. The only difference here is tier 3, Silverton Alpine 26.2 mile, $150. That is an Aravaipa race. Same thing, $5 to $10 increases. And then some of these races, there's no change at all. In the average cost of a trail marathon is $102, $113, $122. Moving into the ultra world, these are our 50Ks. And we got some busy weekends here. Again, this is what I mean by, like, some race directors, we're just not paying attention. Runs with Scissors. Here's April 27th. Runs with Scissors is in Brighton. Cheyenne Mountain is down in Colorado Springs. Rock Hawk is in Castle Rock. Those are pretty equidistant from each other. They're pretty spread out. I think they're all going to get a different clientele, but they're still all on the same day. The weekend of July 26th and 27th, you have Never Summer. That's NAR runners up north, kind of, I guess, west of Fort Collins. And then Pikes Peak 50K, that's Mad Moose, and Grand Mesa 55K, that's Best Slope Races. So these three folks, again, they're pretty spread out. But again, they're all on the same day. September 28th and 29th. That's our biggest weekend of the year. We got Sangre de Cristo, Bear Chase, Freestone Endurance, which puts on High Lonesome. They've got Westline Winder and Sawatch on the same weekend in Buena Vista. And then the Crested Butte 55K is that weekend. So I would say that between, these two on the same weekend, and Crested Butte's only like an hour and a half away. That's kind of crummy, but what are you going to do? Not everybody gets to pick their weekends. October 5th is another big weekend between Ridgeline, Trail 50K, that's the city of Castle Rock, Hanging Flume 50K, that's in somewhere near like Pagosa Springs, I think. Or maybe it's out west. I feel like it's out west. And then Above the Clouds, that's Revenant running. So those are all on the same weekend. Anyway, the average cost of entry for 50K in the state of Colorado is $125, $137, $147. It increased $6 or $7 from last year. The most expensive 50K is the Telluride Mountain Run 40 Mile at $195. Cheapest is Creed Mountain, 50K, $50. Stays the same. Tier 2. Tier 3, Never Summer 60K, ends up having the most expensive 50K price in the state at $205. And the cheapest is still Creed at $60. Here's our 50 milers. Still waiting to find out what Ouray is charging. Last year they charged $265 for a 50-mile race. That is the most expensive 50-miler in Colorado. Probably the country. But actually not anymore, because Run Rabbit Run decided they're going to outdo them. And this is what I mean. Like, they open up Tier 1 at $200, and then it's $75 more for Tier 2 and $75 more after that for Tier 3. $350 for a 50-mile race. Friends, that is more expensive than most 100-milers. Again, just putting out facts. Bear Chase 50 Mile, Sangre de Cristo, and Crested Butte are all on the same weekend. That's your busiest weekend for... Actually, September 28th is the biggest weekend in ultra running in Colorado. There's a ton of races that weekend. Here's your cheapest 50 miler, Red Feather Trail Jamboree, $115. That's NAR runners. That's up near Red Feather Lakes, kind of northwest of Fort Collins, near the Wyoming border, middle of nowhere. But I bet that's a very cool race. Collegiate Peaks 50 mile, they continue to adjust their pricing and get more with the averages, or where people used to be. $115. Tier 2, they are the cheapest at $130, and there's Run Rabbit at $275. And then your cheapest Tier 3 is actually Silver Rush 50 miler. Never thought I'd say that. A Lifetime Race Series event, $135. Actually, I think that race is already sold out at $135, and then Run Rabbit goes up to $350. So here are your average entry fees for the 50-mile distance: $161, $183, $196. So if the average highest price is $197 and you're charging $350, I really don't know what to say. This one left me speechless. On average, the price went up $4, $5, $11. Here's Run Rabbit. They increased their entry fees $5 to $40. There's some. We increased ours $20, but we also haven't increased our rates in a bit. So we had to make a correction this year, and we're still below the average. Again, if Tier 1 average is $161 and we're $140. Tier 2 is $183, we're at $160, and Tier 3 is at $196, we're at $170 here at HPRS. Here's a Mesa's Hideout. They had a $5 decrease. So most folks, $5, $10, $10 to $20, $20 to $50 for San Juan Solstice. $5 to $40 here. There, you get the idea. 100Ks. There aren't many 100Ks in Colorado. Again, there's that busy weekend, September 28th. Cheapest, $180. That would be us at Silver Heels and Sangre de Cristo. And the Bear Chase joined us. Bear Chase 100K, $180. And the most expensive is now the Desert Rats Trail Festival 100K by UTMB, $239. Tier 2, the cheapest is Great Divide 100K. That's Revenant running. That's at Mueller State Park. And then also Bear Chase 100K, $195. Most expensive is Aravaipa's Ring the Springs 100K at $245. Also, it should be noted that Bear Chase is now an Aravaipa series. I'll get into that in a second. Tier 3, the most expensive, is Ring the Springs at $265. And then at $210, you have Silver Heels, Bear Chase, and Sangre de Cristo at cheapest. Here are your averages for the 100K. 201, 216, 230. This is a $6 to $9 increase. Here you can see UTMB raised the rate of this 100K $40. We're up 20. Bear Chase, Aravaipa bought Bear Chase races, so they have to increase fees so they can recoup the expense that they paid for buying them. So that went up $5 to $20. And then 100 milers. Great Divide and Mesa's Hideout happen on the same day. Silver Heels and Hard Rock are on the same day. And Ouray and High Lonesome are on the same day. The cheapest 100 miler, Tier 1, $275. Great Divide, that's Revenant running. $275, $285, $305. He's the cheapest across the board. Most expensive, you've got Ouray and High Lonesome at $450. And then Ouray bumps up to Tier 2 at $475, and they stay there in Tier 3, and they are joined in Tier 3 by Run Rabbit Run, who also is at $475 in Tier 3. Here's your averages, 361, 391, and 401. That's an increase of $11, $13, and $14. Compared to the national average, Colorado is the most expensive place for 100-mile races. Hands down. At HPRS, we increased our rates $25. Again, we haven't raised ours in a while. I hope you could see that even at $325, we're below the average of $361. At $350, we're below the average of $391, and at $375, we're below the average of $401. Pretty much everybody went up except for High Lonesome and Hard Rock, Ring the Springs, and Mesa's Hideout. We increased ours $25. Everybody else $25, $30. Great Divide, $5 increase. And then timed events, there's no real average here. Run the Ranch, this is a 12-hour. They're at $125, we're at $110. $135, we're at $130. $145, we're at $140. They have a 6-hour at $90. Ours is at $80. And then our Endure 12-hour, that's at $120. 24 hours at $150. There's a backyard here. I'm missing a Revenant running backyard ultra that I got to include on this, but yeah, that's what we're looking at for the average cost of entry across all of these distances here in Colorado this year. I have my opinions. I'm going to reserve most of them. I just want you folks to know that, again, this is something that I pay attention to. For me, when I price our events, I'm not looking at, well, what does it cost for me to put on this event? And how much money do I personally want to make? What I do is exactly this. I make this spreadsheet every single year, and I see what the average cost of entry is for that distance, and then I charge less than that. That's legit what I do here at HPRS. I will say that there are some races that have changed hands so far in 2024. Aravaipa's been busy. They acquired the Bobcat Trail Race in Colorado Springs from Mad Moose. and then they moved it to the same day as a Revenant running race that's taking place in Canyon City, which I found to be interesting. Revenant Running doesn't find it interesting. In fact, they're just pissed off. And then Aravaipa also acquired the Bear Chase race series, which includes Rock Hawk Half in Castle Rock, the North Fork Trail races, Chase the Moon, and Bear Chase races. And while Aravaipa owns those races and they are now up under their banner, they will still be directed by Dave Manthe, who I thought gave up race directing and had somebody else race directing for him, but I guess he's back. And then Revenant Running is partnering up with the Crooked Mile for a backyard ultra in June, May or June. I forget when. Jordan told me the other day when it was. And just, look, I got a message the other day from Jordan Ricks. Jordan is the owner of Revenant Running. He's the brother of Justin Ricks, who owns Mad Moose. Story there I'm not getting into. But Jordan reached out to me just to let me know, hey, I just want to let you know I'm partnering up with this other race director, and we're putting on a race the same day as yours in Fremont County. Nowhere close. It's the same day as Endure. Nowhere close to where we are. Right? He's like, and we're only going to have 50 runners. Oh, cool, man. But the fact that he reached out to me just to let me know, that is the way that it used to be. We didn't do anything to step on each other's toes or steal each other's runners or steal each other's volunteers. We were really, it used to be in this profession that race directors had a lot of integrity around making sure that you're not throwing your weight around and taking people's days or putting on a race on the same day as somebody else within so many miles as the crow flies or whatever. And so for Jordan to reach out to me and just be like, hey man, just want to let you know that I'm putting on a race 100 miles from you with this other group, and we're only going to have 50 runners. I just wanted to let you know so that you don't think that we're trying to compete with you or screw you up in any way. And for me, thank you so much for letting us know. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's not about asking permission. It's just about being polite and being a good neighbor. And I really appreciate that Jordan did that. So public thank you to Jordan for continuing to do things the right way. And I hope more folks will check out Revenant Running's events and run with them just because they are a series with high integrity. We've also lost some races already this year. I will tell you that Mountain Rats 50K, that was a Gemini Race Series event. That is gone. The entire Mountain Rats event is gone. Also, here at HPRS, we have done away with the Kuchara Snowshoe 50K and the South Park Trail Runs, which included the South Park Ultra, South Park Marathon, and the South Park Half Marathon. So we got rid of those just because I can. I got a little burned out. I put on too many races, so had to work with our calendar a little bit so it works better with me, so I can get some rest, I can recuperate, and focus more on putting on the right number of quality events, not all of the events, right? So that's a insider's look at pricing for Colorado races this year, changes in ownership, races that have gone away. That's what I'm seeing. There's some new races coming online as well that I've noticed. And one of them is the Summit 200 mile. They're applying for permits. And again, something that we didn't do once upon a time is you never build a race on the same trail that another race uses. The Summit 200 are putting a race on literally a week after us. A week after Silver Heels, you could run the same trails in a 200 mile. It's just what are we doing? They also have the Front Range Ultra Days in Loveland, and that is in August. And these are being put on by Ultraverse, the same group that puts on the Cowboy 200 in Nebraska and a couple of events in Kansas. For whatever reason, they are coming to Colorado to put on races here because we don't have enough. Running Wild events, they look like this is now the name of the group that's putting on events up in Estes Park. These events have had a number of different race directors, a number of different company names, This is Samson's Revenge 55K, Estes Park Backyard Ultra, Rocky's Backyard, and Thumbs Up Vertical 8 Hour. So those are new races that have all come online here this year. But again, like at this point, like we're all kind of fighting Aravaipa to keep our days on the calendar. And now we've got UTMB in our backyard. And now we've got this group from Kansas, Hays, Kansas, coming over to put on races here. And then we're already pretty saturated. Like the market here is already out of control. And I'll say it again. I said it in the in my State of the Sport address. It's just some race directors are not doing their market research. They're not seeing if something like, do we really need another 200 miler? And they're also charging the $1,200 for you to go out and have 12 aid stations. I don't get it. These folks do. I wish them luck. For me, it's more just I want you all to have knowledge. This is what it looks like. And I hope that you will choose what races you run wisely and support those more homegrown, grassroots, low frills race series like us, who we're not being bullies. We're trying really hard to complement the communities that we're in. We are being mindful of the races that are already out there. We are not building courses on races that already exist. We're charging reasonable entry fees. We're doing all the things that we say we are and do on our website. And we are people over profit. That's what makes us different at HPRS. Over the years, for saying what I've said to you over the last, half hour, 45 minutes of this program, I've been dubbed a bully and an asshole, and how dare I tell you the truth or be so negative, just telling you like, hey, these are the facts. This is what everybody's charging. Some of this is bullshit. I'm sure some of you agree with me that $350 for a 50 mile is, I wish I had what they were smoking. That, man, whatever they are smoking, it sounds amazing, doesn't it? $350 for a 50-mile race. I want some of that. Is somebody money laundering? Like, seriously, is somebody money laundering? That sounds like a lot. And at the same time, again, I highlighted the big issues in our sport is that we're just getting up in everybody's asses when we're planning our races and planning the calendar and doing things. We're just up each other's asses, and we don't need to be. And all the unwritten rules of race directing have completely gone out the window. And so part of like why this will probably be the last time I show you all the prices for running races in Colorado. And I won't do a State of Our Sport address anymore because I'm not going to tell the other race directors what's going on anymore. I'm definitely seeing a survival of the fittest situation starting to evolve. And the less the information I provide, for me, it's like the better chance I have of surviving. And that's kind of where I'm at, is like, how is HPRS going to survive when there are just too many damn races? How are we going to survive when we can't get any volunteers? Because we're all hosting races on the same day. And we're all fighting over the same runners, and we're all fighting over the same volunteers. And I've really, like, I'll be honest with you all, it's crossed my mind over the last couple of weeks, like, how much longer do I want to be a race director when this is what our sport's turning into? Like, this isn't the sport that it was when I got into it 20 years ago, obviously. It's not the sport that it was when I started race directing 10 years ago. It's a completely different animal now, and I really don't like it. It sucks. And all I see are like bullies with deep pockets pushing people around, and people who aren't thinking about what they're doing whatever the hell they want. And so we don't work together. We're not respectful of each other. We're just peeing in each other's backyard and giving freedom rockets on the way out. And that's that, right? It's not fun. So I present all of this to you so that you're informed and so that you can make an informed opinion. That's all. So that's what I got for tonight's show, except for trivia. Let's play some trivia. What do you guys think? You want to have some fun now? Let's have some fun. Here's a QR code. If you scan this, it'll take you to our little trivia thing. Hold on here. Pause. Okay. You want to scan this code. If you don't want to scan that code, you can go to play.myquiz.org. It's going to ask you for a code on the screen, and that is the code that you want to put in. 00875315. That is our quiz code for tonight's trivia. The winner of tonight's trivia, you're going to win your choice. I will purchase for you your very own Vapor apparel, whatever Vapor apparel thing that you want. It's on me. I'll get it ordered and shipped right to your house. Or you can choose a free entry to any HPRS race that you want throughout this year. I'll give you a free race entry, so you can have a hoodie or a free race entry. Yeah, that's what I got. How about that? All right. The winner gets a hoodie and a race entry. That's what we're doing. An entry and a hoodie. Never mind or. Let's replace that with and. That's what we're playing for tonight. So we're going to play some trivia. And I'm going to go live. Here you go. I've got it paused. Can I go back here and see how many people are... They changed this a little bit on me, so I'm like, all right. Well, let's see how many people are playing. Here we go. Here's the first question. What guitarist notably performed on the Michael Jackson song Beat It? Eric Clapton, Eddie Van Halen, Prince, or Bob Dylan? I got you, Michelle. Hold on. There it is. And you are being scored correct answers and timed. So there we go. It is Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen. Dun, dun, dun. I loved Van Halen. I actually got to see them live. All right. By U.S. law, exit signs must be one of what two colors? And this is like in the building, not on the interstate. So pick two. Any two. Green, white, red, and yellow are your options. You're going to pick two. By U.S. law, exit signs must be one of what two colors? Actually, yeah, pick two. Pick two. All right, they're green and red. And that's the lights. That's what the light color is supposed to be. So these questions are all over the place. Whitney Houston went to the top of the music charts in 1992 with I Will Always Love You. Who wrote the song? Was it Whitney Houston herself, Patsy Cline, Natalie Cole, or Dolly Parton? So our questions tonight, they run all kinds of different topics. We will circle back around near the end to some HPRS ultra running questions. Really arbitrary crap here. It is Dolly Parton. If you didn't know, now you do. Which of these films is Tom Hanks not in? Is it The Burbs, The Money Pit, The Simpsons movie, or K-9? Which of these films is Tom Hanks not in? I've seen every single one of these movies. I actually have a list of every movie I've ever seen. Closing in on 1,600 movies on my list. That's all time, my whole life. Something I'm keeping track of. It is K-9. So he was the voice of himself in the Simpsons movie. and K9 was Jim Belushi. You're probably thinking of Turner and Hooch, if you were thinking of the dog movie he was in. Okay, Walter White, his pre-Heisenberg vehicle, the one he runs over the gangsters in. What is it? Was it a Pontiac Aztek, a Nissan Cube, a Ford Explorer, or a Chevy Citation? I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. I think it's the greatest show of all time. Better Call Saul's right up there. And if I could own my own Pontiac Aztek, I would totally run over some gangsters too. I mean, I'm kidding. All right, how about the next one? Where do vice presidents live? Where do the U.S. vice presidents live? Do they live at Monticello, on the grounds of the U.S. Naval Observatory, the White House, or the Codman Davis House, which is also in Washington, D.C.? Where does the vice president live? Does Kamala live with Joe? Nope, she does not, because she lives on the grounds of the U.S. Naval Observatory. All right. Of all the states with a saltwater shoreline, whose is the shortest? Which state with an ocean shoreline, whose is the shortest? Delaware, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, or New York? Stefan, you better get this right, man, if you're still playing. I see you on there. You better get this right. I almost put Jersey on there just for you. It is New Hampshire. New Hampshire, for damn sure. They got 13 miles of total coastline. Rhode Island has a ton of coastline. It goes in and out and all over the place, right? They have a whole bay. What is Colorado's state flower? Is it Indian paintbrush, lilac, sunflower, or the columbine? Good job, Stefan. I love multiple guesses. That's how I got through college. Multiple guess. I didn't study for a single exam. I don't know how. How'd I ever get 2 degrees? It is the columbine. Good job, everybody. If you had said sunflower, some Kansans would need to find exit stage right. What is the highest mountain of the Collegiate Peaks range? That's here in Colorado, Collegiate Peaks. Is it Princeton, Harvard, Yale, or La Plata? What is the highest mountain of the Collegiate Peaks range? Princeton, Harvard, Yale, or La Plata? Good old 14ers question. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, everybody. I really enjoy you being here, being a part of the water cooler. Glad we could have some fun. It is Mount Harvard. All right, we can move on. You've seen it. Here we go. This is... No, go back. Missed a question. The second highest peak in the lower 48 is Mount Albert, if you didn't know. Okay. That's what I get for trying to skip ahead. I'll leave it alone from now. Sorry. The WWE just signed a $5 billion deal to stream Monday Night Raw on this streaming platform starting next year. What is it? Prime, Netflix, Hulu, or Peacock? They're on Peacock right now. My best friend from high school, he's going to be wrestling LA Knight on Raw on Monday. I'm so excited. This question's more for me than it is for you. It is Netflix. They're on Peacock now, so they're moving to Netflix. $5 billion for 10 years on Netflix. Huge deal. What produces the majority of the breathable air on Earth? Is it trees? Oceans? Nothing. It's always there. Or those giant fans in Kansas. You know what I'm talking about. I hope somebody chuckled. It is the oceans. It's the oceans. Oh, tough break. Who wrote The Little Mermaid? Was it Walt Disney, Hans Christian Andersen, Roald Dahl, or J.M. Barrie? Who wrote The Little Mermaid? So for all of these questions, like I went to a website for good quiz questions, and it just gave me the question and the right answer. So I had to come up with all the wrong answers today. And it was actually pretty hard. It's not the fans, Michelle, no. But every time I drive through Kansas, it's no wonder this place is so windy. They left all these fans on. Who voiced Miss Frizzle on the children's television series Magic School Bus? Was it Lily Tomlin, Helen Mirren, Jessica Lange, or Susan Sarandon? One of these ladies was the voice of Miss Frizzle. This is a shout out for KP, who was Miss Frizzle for Halloween at Indian Creek, and Emily was the school bus. It was actually a pretty bitchin' costume that those two wore. It was Lily Tomlin. Dean and Allie duking it out. They're about 50 points apart. Matt's coming up here. On this list, who has not been banned from hosting Saturday Night Live? Which of these people has not been banned from hosting SNL? Is it Chevy Chase, Adrian Brody, Martin Lawrence, or Jim Carrey? The stories of the three people on this list that are banned and why they're banned is hilarious. Some of them. Let's see how you guys answered. All over. It's actually Jim Carrey. The top three, Chevy, Adrian, and Martin, have all been banned. They are not allowed to be on SNL. How many slices of pizza does America eat per second? Allie takes the lead. 100 to 250 slices of pizza per second. 350 to 400, 150 to 300, or 200 to 250. Per second, how many slices of pizza does America eat? It is 350 to 400 slices of pizza a second. That's a lot of pizza. The unicorn is the national animal of which country? Yes, this is a thing. Is it Scotland, Finland, Wales, or Ireland? Of course it would be one of those, right? The unicorn is the national animal of which country? Allie, I've been enjoying your ski videos. It is Scotland. Wales is a good guess, though. Allie's been skiing in her timely garb. Hilarious. But glad you're out there on the slopes again, girl. Getting after it. Which soft drink once contained cocaine as one of its original ingredients? Is it Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, or root beer? I'll get around. One of these drinks had cocaine in it originally. I was born in the wrong time. It is Coke. Allie running away with it. See Claire in there. According to Instacart, what is the most disliked food in America? Brussels sprouts, anchovies, asparagus, or fiddleheads? You guys know what fiddleheads are? It's something they eat a lot of up in Vermont, actually. They'll actually go and harvest them in their fields, and then cook them, steam them at home, and eat them. I think they taste like dandelions, personally. But anchovies is correct. Some people voting personal preference on there. I'm not eating any of these fucking things. I don't care what it says. Now known as Meta, Facebook was originally named what? So this was the first name of the company known as Meta. Was it Facebook, MySpace, The Facebook, or Hot or Not? Okay, here we go. 4 seconds. Get those answers in. It is The Facebook. It should be noted, however, that what's his nuts there? He did invent Hot or Not, if you remember that site. Which popular condiment was once sold as a medicinal cure for diarrhea? Is it mustard, relish, mayonnaise, or ketchup? Mayonnaise. I don't know if you guys heard diarrhea is hereditary. Yeah, it runs in your genes. It is ketchup. Yeah, you guys, I knew you would guess mustard because that's like, if we don't have pickle juice to settle your stomach during a race, mustard's number 2, right? But it's actually ketchup. How many collective miles did the HPRS Streakers group run in 2024? So this was everybody in Streakers last month. How many miles collectively did they run? So we're getting into the HPRS and running questions here. We got this and 7 more questions to go. 7 or 8 more to go. Allie in the lead. Dean. We got Matt up there. Claire, Lara, Sam. It is 7,715. Good guessing, everybody. How many people have finished the 100-mile distance at the NIWATCH Challenge? 1, 2, 3, or nobody? Again, NIWATCH is our Barkley of the West. A lot of people consider the Barkley Marathons to be the hardest race in the world. At this point, we've been doing NIWATCH for many years. I'm not going to tell you how long because we got another question coming up about it. And time's up. We have never had somebody complete the full 100-mile distance at NIWATCH. We have a $1,000 prize up for the first person who does. They're going to get $1,000. Which pass will Silver Hills not include this year? So which pass will Silver Hills not include? Kenosha, Hoosier Pass, French Pass, Georgia Pass, or Boreas Pass? There's 5 passes there. Silver Hills goes to 4 of them. And the answer is Hoosier Pass. We do not go to Hoosier Pass. We do go over French. What was the first HPRS Fat Ass in 2011? Was it Colda Canyon in Louisville? Was it the Frozen Front Range in Boulder, also known as the Boulder Skyline? Or was it Frozen Dead Guy, which was our Ned to Boulder run? Or was it the Monster Marathon in Golden? One of these was the first HPRS Fat Ass in 2011. Nobody guessed it. It was Colda Canyon in Louisville. All right, which came first? NIWATCH Challenge or Tommyknocker Ultras? $50-50, right? The answer is Niwatts. Niwatts was first held in 2013. Tommyknocker was held in 2014. What was the original order of our events in Fair Play? Was it... So these were in June, July, and August. So what was the order? Was it South Park Sheep and Silver Heels, South Park Silver Heels Sheep, which it is right now. Well, not anymore because there's no more South Park. Sheep, South Park, Silver Heels. It was actually, yep, that's what it is now. B is what it is now. A is what the original was. So we switched Silver Heels and Sheep Mountain. And I forget what year it was, but it was a while ago. Kelly Agnew was caught cheating at the Across the Years Ultra by hiding where? In his car, in the timing tent, in the aid station, or in a porta potty? This was back in 2018. Yeah, it was like 2018 he was caught. Had all of his previous victories rescinded and banned for life from all Aravaipa races. And then many other races found out that he'd been cheating there as well. And he was indeed hiding in the porta potty. Just long enough to hop out and cross the mat again, as if he had just run a loop. Hey, what's my favorite thing to drink while race directing? Do I like a Coke or Pepsi, a red Powerade, an iced tea, or coffee? My favorite thing to drink while I am race directing. I know this is a total guess. The next one's going to be 2. These are your last 2 questions. Allie in the lead. Dean's not far behind. And it is a red Powerade. I typically have a 12-pack of red Powerades in my truck at every race. I drink the shit out of those. If I could eat anything at the end of race directing, what would it be? When the race is done and I'm heading home, like this, one of these things is what I love to have the most. Is it Cane's chicken? That's Raising Cane's chicken, pizza, a steak and cheese sub, or a grilled tri-tip at home. If I could have any of these things at the end of race directing, what would it be? It is the grilled tri-tip. By the time the race ends, I'm pretty done with eating out. Really, I'm over it. I want to eat at home with Emily. So, there you go. Allie is our winner. Allie, the can of SpaghettiOs was really good, though. Good call, Dean. Oh, I loved it. I think it had been 20 years since I had SpaghettiOs in my mouth. Awesome stuff. Allie wins. You're going to get a Vapor apparel item of your choice and a free race entry, Allie. Congrats. And also to you, Dean and Matt. Congratulations to you two. Also coming in second and third, we got Claire, Stefan. I'll show you guys so you see where you're all at. Let me get rid of this thing. There's a page 2. And Michelle at the end. Poor Michelle. Came in late. All right, that was the trivia that I had for you this evening. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. I better make a note that I owe Allie stuff or I'll completely forget. Allie. Got it. Free stuff. Cool. Well, that's all that I had for the water cooler this evening. Unless anybody has anything they want to talk about, any questions you want to ask, now's the time. If you got a general HPRS question, you have a question about anything that we talked about this evening, now's the time. You can put it in the comments section there on Facebook. Happy to answer them. If anybody has anything they want to ask about anything at all, please don't hesitate. Would love to answer any questions you have about anything, any race, any policy, any email, anything. Do I know cell phone signal strength at Como? Yes, I do. That is a great question. Cell phone signal at Como is hit or miss. It's actually pretty spotty. If you go up the road to the Christian camp, they have a little bit better service because they're up on the hill. But down in the proper, I'm a Verizon customer, and it's like 1, maybe 2 bars. But give me 1 second here. Let me show you something, Allie, because this is such a great question. Nope. Here we go. Here on Cal Topo, there is a cell coverage button. So Verizon. Yeah, see, I'm Verizon, and it's really spotty, right? If you're AT&T, you're in pretty good shape. And if you're T-Mobile, also pretty good shape there. So Verizon's the worst. T-Mobile, AT&T, and then if I go to all, I think this yellow is Sprint. I don't know what the green is. Here we go. Green is all providers. Yellow's T-Mobile. Anyway, Verizon sucks. Oh yeah, this is a thing, Allie. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a button. There's a button for that. Verizon. AT&T. Cool. Glad I could share that with you. Okay, so that's that question. What's the weather predictions for Endure? Oh my God. That's 3 months away. Actually, this is a great question, D, because oh, by the way, I had a dream the other night that included your brake lines coming through my truck floor, just so you know. I'm having nightmares about your accident. I just thought I'd let you know. But I pay really close attention to weather trends, and it sounds like here in Colorado, we're going to have a late winter. They're predicting that we're for sure going to have higher than average precipitation around through the middle of May. That winter could drag on again. Now, who knows, right? It's Colorado. Anything could happen. I'm personally praying for a beautiful weekend. 60 degrees and sunny. That's what I want. But we'll see. What is my favorite race? I don't know if it's Lara or Lara. Do you mean to run or to direct? Because that's like, I'll answer both. Like, my favorite race to run is the Miwok 100K in San Francisco. Hands down, the single greatest ultra marathon in the nation. Top to bottom, left to right, all of it, front and back, everything about that race. It is the single greatest ultra marathon I've ever run in, the single greatest trail run I've ever participated in, the Miwok 100K. My honorable mentions go to Cascade Crest and Vermont. Vermont 100. They also have a 50K and a 100K there. Yeah, those like my favorites are anywhere but in Colorado. Like my favorite races are everywhere else. That race I ran in Wisconsin, which is the Midwest states event, was so great last year. I'm going back this year. So my favorite race to direct, this one. I wish you guys knew the amount of time, attention, effort, and love that I'm really putting into that race. That I do every year, but more so this year with the course changes. The permitting process for that has gotten incredibly out of control. It's a lot. But I love putting that race on. I'd say number 2 is Sheep Mountain, and number 3 is Indian Creek. That's my order. I don't like to be cold at all. So these winter races are a huge drag for me. I'm glad the forecast looks great for next weekend down in Springs. I'm not seeing wind chills in the negative digits or temperatures in the negative digits. It's going to be a little warm for a daytime high for this time of year, but I'll take it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend for stories. But I'm tired of the cold already. I'm like, after Sangra is when I look at Emily and I'm like, damn it. All my races for the next 6 months are cold. And I want to be anything but cold. There's been talk about the possibility of us hosting a race in Puerto Rico. I'll throw that out there. You guys want to know what else is up in the burner in the background? There's been talk about a race in Puerto Rico. There's been talk about putting on a race in Belize. There's been zero discussion about putting on another race anywhere else in the United States. Like, we're good. Puerto Rico is warm. Yeah. I really enjoyed Costa Rica when we went there, but I can't see putting on a race there or Mexico. They're not the places that I'm comfortable with. The idea of having people running around the jungle with who knows who the hell else is out there. But yeah, like seriously kicking the tires on Puerto Rico, and I've kicked the tires on some Belize, but I'd say Puerto Rico is more likely than Belize would be. Yeah, I'm a companion pass holder, so yeah, that's out on the back burner. Those are some things that we're looking at. I heard that honey badger in Kansas is going away because they're not getting the numbers that they needed for it to continue. I've actually thought about reaching out to them and seeing about taking that on. Honey badger 100 in Kansas. That's down near Wichita. We got a lot of runners that come run with us from Wichita. Emily is from Wichita. So just kicking the tires on that possibility. Not seriously, but who knows. Honey badger. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to stay put. I've downsized. I've thought about maybe one more. Matt Staub, however you say his name. He came up with a race called Battleship. And I'm just looking for a place to put that on. It would be in March or April of next year. New concept, kind of like bingo, like a unique race like bingo and endure kind of concept, but playing the game of Battleship. So we got some irons in the fire. You never know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at this year. Our numbers are great. I'm trying to make it more manageable so that our community can support us with volunteerism and with running in a way that, we got to have some time off, right? I need time off. You need time off. Your family needs time off. So those are other things that I'm thinking about too. Is like I'm trying to be mindful of all of those considerations as well. Just things that I think about. While I'm also thinking about we need new hats and we need new stickers and we need merit badges, and like we don't need this stuff, but it's fun. It's fun stuff, and this is all about having fun. So, any other questions that are out there that I can answer? Entertain you. Now's the time. Yeah, Vivid Seats sent me an email making sure I got my tickets. I already went to the game, dude. I don't know, but I'm like a huge Nuggets fan. I've been to 4 games this season, and the 5th one's coming up on March 7th. They're playing the Celtics. I'm from New Hampshire originally. I grew up a Celtics fan. I hate this Celtics team. I hate them. I hate the players on that team. I'm so excited to go see the Denver Nuggets beat them. That's going to be a big night. So just shit talking with you all. I love watching the Nuggets. I've been playing some video games, relaxing a little bit. in the middle of all this other work that I'm doing. We got new radios, so I hope that our communications are improved. We're doing a lot of upgrading here on the back end to make our races safer and more enjoyable for you all and our volunteers. We're doing the best we can. Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend next weekend, Michelle. Excited to get out to Cheyenne Mountain State Park at Stories. Hopefully this snow melts quickly here the first part of the week, and then we can get some breezes going and warmer temps throughout the rest of the week to hopefully get the trails to settle out a little bit there in the park. I don't think we're going to have snowy pictures. I think we're going to have dirt pictures this year, which I'm excited for. Yeah, I already saw it, Beth. I got you. I'll email you here in like 10 minutes. Really excited. It's going to be a great year. We're off to a great start. I appreciate everybody coming out and running with us. I so appreciate those of you who have registered to volunteer. Thank you for spreading the word about our series, getting your friends and family to sign up, your running groups and clubs that you're involved in. Thank you for getting them signed up. If you're a part of a run group and you want to ask me for a code, don't hesitate. I typically try to do some kind of deal with folks where we do an exchange. I give you a code if you give me so many volunteers through the year. The more volunteers you give me, the more your code increases for your group. Happy to do those things. The more the merrier. We'd love to have more folks coming out and joining us here at HPRS and finding out what makes us so different, because we are different. Thank you so much for joining me for tonight's show. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you enjoyed the news. Thank you for bearing with me while I showed you the price list for this year. And yeah, it gets me all kinds of riled up. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, I'm riled up. I'm riled up about it. I'm sad for you all. I don't run as much as I used to. And I think the reason is because even I've been priced out, and it bums me out big time. Bums me out for me. It bums me out for you. That's capitalism, though, right? We got to put up with it. So it's becoming harder to navigate from a financial point of view. It's becoming harder to navigate in general as a race director when everybody's breathing down your neck with their new races, and just, man, it's just a weird time. And it kind of is tiring, a little bit of exhaustion on my end with it. But I'm really trying hard not to pay attention to it and just focus on what I need to focus on, which is you, the folks that are here, what we're doing, what can I do to continue to improve our series, what can I do to continue to advocate for trail runners and make sure we have places to run, and that it continues to be affordable. And that's where I'm at. And so I thank all of you for your support over these years, and continuing to run with us as we get close to celebrating our 10th birthday here at HPRS. It's coming up real quick. Next month will be birthday number 10, and there will be a big sale on that day. There will be a code. You're going to want to look at your March newsletter for that code. It's going to be big. Celebrating our birthday on March 13th. Spread the word. The first number of the % off that you will get might be a 3. Big day. All right, everybody. I'm going to take off. It's 9 o'clock. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you next month for the next Water Cooler Live if I don't see you at Stories. Stay warm. Stay safe. Love you all. And we'll see you soon.